October 24th of 1929 is Black Thursday on the stock market, and it is a terrible day. The stocks fall. There's a little bit of a buffer put into place, and they rise again. And then on the following Tuesday, everything falls apart in the United States, essentially. Um, and this is the beginning of what leads to the Great Depression. And when you learn about the Great Depression and the stock market crash, you often hear stories about how the mental health devastation of these crashes kind of rippled out. And there was a huge mental health impact. The first years of the Great Depression, farmers and stock market traders and everyone whose businesses were being hit, which was basically everybody, had elevated mental health risk, we will say. But the actual day of Black Thursday, we always hear that there's stories about stock market traders jumping out of windows. And that seems to be not true. That seems to be like a myth after the fact. In fact, the only recorded death on Black Thursday in Manhattan like that was a guy named Otto Mathies, who was from Berlin and he was visiting. And the newspaper the very next day said that at Savoy Plaza, they suspected it was an accident, that he was in this skyscraper and he opens the window and he's leaning out looking at this giant, I mean, he's not used to being up in this building, and he falls. Um, and but that happened at 8:30 in the morning, right before the markets open, and the markets open to an absolute, I mean, plummet, free fall until 1:30 in the afternoon, when they're kind of bolstered temporarily by the purchase of a bunch of stocks by a bunch of heads of banks that were trying desperately to stop what was happening. But the myth that everybody's like jumping from windows that day seems to come from the Berlin scientist Otto misunderstanding the height and getting dizzy and plummeting. Doesn't change what happens to all the farmers later, but important to know.